There we go. There we go. Okay. I think that should be good. You know what? I need to tweak. I think this camera's a little bit out of focus. A little bit out of focus. So let me tweak this. Shit. Oh, I'll put the thumbnail up for today. Emergency meeting. Now you're probably wondering, why is there an emergency meeting? Well, I woke up to some news, so I need to share, but I was like, I need to stream about this. I need to talk about this. But first I need to adjust the focus on my camera. Okay, that should be good. Okay. I still feel like that's kind of off. It's so stupid because it'll change it every time I get off. That's so dumb. Camera. What are you tweaking, girl? Okay, whatever. Okay. So, emergency meeting. What's the emergency meeting about? Well, let's talk about it. So basically, midterms are coming up. Midterm elections are coming up, which is basically where we're going to be electing the governor in, I think, 34 out of 50 states. We are electing basically, I think, most of the House of Let me pull up the midterms real quick, just so I can give accurate information. Because I've done a lot of research on this. Okay, here we go. Let's pull this up. Let's do this. Yes, boom. I'll do... Okay, so basically, right, the midterms are coming up. Midterms are very important because we're electing, basically, this is like all of the elections coming up for us that's not president. So if everybody else that's not president of the United States, we're basically electing in November. So it's very important. So let's talk about it. Okay? Because it's very important. Okay. So basically, there are in government. Let's talk about how government works first. Basically, how government works, right? Basically think of it like this. There's the president. There's the legislative. Wait, I'm not explaining this right. I need a visual. I'm not explaining this right. Okay. Basically, the legislative branch of government is made up of the House of Representatives and the Senate. Basically, there's two of them. There's basically two, think of it like two guys. There's two places, and they make up the legislative branch, right? There's also the judicial, which is the courts, and there's the executive, which is the president. And basically, they all balance each other out in a nice little triangle, right? So I'll put it up on screen just so... Here's the three, right? So why is that important? Well, this is president. This is Trumpo. This is the House of Representatives and the Senate. There's two of them. And this is the courts. So this is like the judge. They bring down the law, right? So those are the three branches of our national government, right? So why is the House and the Senate, their elections are coming up? Why is that important? Well, right, this is Trumpo, right? The legislative branch is the group of people that make the laws. Trump doesn't make the laws. The legislative branch are the guys that make the laws. They're the ones that introduce bills and pass bills, and he just goes and signs them, right? So he can sign them or veto them, but they are the ones that get to make stuff. And then also, if they make something, he says no, they can take it back and say yes. They have the power to do that. So these is very powerful. This is the guys that make all the laws in our country. So if you're not happy with laws going on right now and bills being passed, it's literally these guys. It's literally the legislative branch. So if you are not happy, that is who's doing it. So the House and the Senate, right? That's these guys. So the legislative branch is the House of Representatives and the Senate. Now, they're both different. So let's talk about them, okay? So basically, the House of Representatives and the Senate, right? So it's two guys. The House of Representatives, has 435 people, right? And the Senate has 100 people. So that's 535 people, right? Okay. And there are 50. We'll come back to the governors. So basically, oh, I know. No, forgive me. I got this. This is why it's like I want to talk about this. I'm wrong. Don't listen to me. Don't listen. No, keep listening. I'm going to have the right, correct stuff up on screen. I'm just getting stuff out because there's a lot to talk about. How many members are there? Yeah, I was right. Yes. Show both? Okay. So basically, how many? Yes, 435. Right? So 435 people. I'm gonna need to edit this into a YouTube video because this is gonna be tough. So basically, the midterms. Every seat. I remember this, right? Every seat in the House of Representatives is up for election. So basically, all 435 of 535 people in the legislative branch are in the House of Representatives, and they're up for election. And then 34 are up for election in the Senate. So a third of the Senate and all of the House of Representatives. So that is how much of the lawmakers? What percent? That is of a big percent. 469 out of something. Let's do a calculator. Doesn't have to be, I'll edit this down or something. So out of 535, 469 divided by 535, 88% of the guys that make our laws in our country are up for election in November. Specifically, Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026. Okay? Very important. So all of the House of Representatives and a third of the Senate. Okay? Well, let's talk about what each one of those does. All right? The House of Representatives, right? So basically how the legislative branch works, right, is basically the House does something and then they can pass it to the Senate, and then the Senate also has to approve it. Basically, they have to both approve it for it to go to the president's desk, right? So that's important, right? So it's called, the House of Representatives is called the lower house. It's called the lower house. So basically it goes, the representatives, House of Representatives are like, here's something we want to do, and they might pass it or they might not. It goes up to the Senate. The Senate then goes, oh, do we want to pass this? And then they're like, yes or no. And if they say no, it just dies, right? But if they say yes, then it's yes, yes, and it goes to the president, and then he can say yes or no, right? So yeah, they have the House and Senate have the authority under Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution to pass or defeat federal legislation, known as bills. Those that are also passed by the Senate are sent to the president for signature or veto. The House's exclusive powers include initiating all revenue bills, impeaching federal officers, and electing the president if no candidate, receives a majority of votes in the Electoral College. Let me do... How do I do this? There we go. Okay, and then the Senate. Yes. So the important thing is it's checks and balances, right? So if you know anything, remember anything from school, the one thing I remember is checks and balances, where basically there's the three forms of government. There's executive, legislative, and judicial, and they all balance each other out. Basically, the courts, the guys that make the laws, and the president all balance each other out, and they can, like, if one of them's being bad, the other ones can cancel it, right? So let's talk about what the current situation is. House of Representatives. So basically, let's figure out where's the current seat. Okay, yes. So basically, as of right now, there are 435 voting members. You need 218 for a majority. There are 217. There's 218 in the majority group, which is 217 Republicans, 1 independent, and then there are 212 Democrats. This is a problem because if, let's say, the bad guys want to make a law, they have the majority. So they can be like, oh, see, these guys, what can they do? If they introduce a bill, these guys will just shoot it down. So it's a broken system. It's a broken system, but we can manipulate it to our advantage, right? Got to use the system to your advantage, right? So if we want to stop the stonewalling, then we got to get more people in the House. But good news, gang, because as we learned here, all 435 seats are up for re-election. So we can put all kinds of people in here. We can put all kinds of good people, right? But we got to figure out who those people are. But who are the people in the House of Representatives? Who are they? Well, I believe they are elected from the states. Yeah, so basically each state gives a certain amount of representatives, right? So, like, North Dakota has, like, 1, but California has 52. That's great. Texas and Florida have a lot. That's not great. New York's got a lot, 26. Ohio has 15. Wisconsin's got 8. North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming all have 1. That's such an L. Vermont has a 1. Delaware has a 1. Such a unfortunate thing. Alaska's got 1. Hawaii's got 2. So it's basically determined on population. So basically the House of Representatives, it's like, oh, these are people representing your state in government. Now, why is that important? It's important because you're choosing the people that are representing you. You know what I mean? So it's kind of important.
I'm just gonna go walk up and down.
So that's important, right? These are the people representing you that are putting laws in place, right? And if you're not happy with that, you can change it. Okay? So let's talk about the Senate. So the Senate, right? The Senate right now also, unfortunately, so it's got 100 people, right? And right now there's 53 Republicans and minority 47 people. We have 45 Democrats and 2 independents, right? So that's tough because you see why there's a problem, right? If one group of people plus one group of people both have majority in both of the places that are making the laws in our country, you can see why things are skewed. Because basically, they can just do whatever they want. They can make all the laws because they have the majority in both places. So that's very annoying. So we don't like that. So we're gonna change that. So let's see, what do they do? What's their how are they determined? U.S. Senate. How many? Where are they pulled from? Where do we get our people from? Members of the Senate are called senators. Bro, dude, public education fucks you over, dude. They did not teach me this. Members of the Senate are called senators. Each of the 50 states is given 2 Senate seats. Each senator serves for a 6-year term. They say call your senators. I'm like, oh, that's a senator is like a state person in the state, right? No, a senator is your state representative. And then let me just make this a big screen because this is how fucked over the U.S. education system is. Okay, a senator. And they say call your senators. That is your state representative in the U.S. Senate. That's a big deal. What the fuck? I hate education system. Okay, whatever. Let's go back to it. Fuck. Okay, so that's lovely. Great. Wondrous. Great. Yeah. So what do we know now? Okay, what do we know now? Let's do a document. So there's basically, so midterms, right? Let's do a big text. Midterms. Bigger. There we go. Midterms. Okay. You want to fuck off? Nobody asked. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. So basically, who's up for election? All these colors are fucked up. I think this is red. So who's up for election? Right? How do I make this? I actually need to make it. What the fuck? Let's do like 20. No, that's too big. Dude, every time. It's like, I'm gonna move it. What do you think I want, dude? Just stop moving. Okay. Who's up for election? Okay. 435 members of the House of Representatives. How many from the Senate? 33 or 34. What does that mean? Do you want to tell me or do you want to not tell me? How many senator seats, I guess? Do you want to... Oh, so Google won't tell me. Thanks, Google. That's really stupid. I'm just going to say 33, I guess. Because they're not making this easy on me. So we'll say 33. 33 of 100 members of the Senate. You can see why this is important, right? So what was the number we got? I think it was 88%. We'll do the number 87.6. Of the guys who make, what does the legislative branch do? What does it do? Yeah, they make laws. They declare war, they control taxing and spending policies, and they oversee the president. That's pretty important. So the guys that make the laws. So it's 87.6% of the guys who make the laws. That's kind of important. Okay. And so let's go. I'm going to list out. So basically, House of Representatives is, there are representatives from each state. Each state, depending on population size. And then the Senate, there are 2 seats from each state. These are your senators. I literally just learned that just now when I did research, because they don't teach you that shit. Because why would they want to teach you that shit? That's not important or anything. Okay. Can I make this blue? I'd like to make it blue, please. 2. Amount, depending on population size. These are your senators. Mr. Senator. Right? Okay. So that's important. That's kind of messy. I don't like that. I'm going to change that. Let's do that. Okay. So basically, I'll just do like example, like Florida has like, how many example? Florida has, is it 34? Where was the House of Representatives? Florida has 28 and Montana has 2. Sure. Florida has 28, Montana has 2. Wah. That's tough. That's tough. So it's a lot easier to figure out who you're electing in like Montana than Florida. Yeah, that's tough. California has 52 people. That's a lot of people to keep track of. Texas has 38. That's a lot of people to keep track of. Florida's got 28. That's a lot of people to keep track of. New York has 26. That is a lot of people to keep track of. And then you have like, I live in South Dakota. I only have to deal with 1 person. That's tough. That also means you have less, like, if you get 1 shit person that gets put into the house, that's your voice. So in a sea of 435 people, you have 1 person. That's tough, gang. That's tough. At least Florida, hey, Florida might be shit right now, but at least we got 28 people. California's got 52. That's hype as shit. That's crazy work. Okay, so where were we? Ah, yes. Midterms. Who's up for election? Basically everyone. Basically everyone's up for. Oh, when is it? When is it, right? That's probably important. It's on a very important date. November. Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026. It's a Tuesday. Very important day. Remember that day. Very important. How far away from now is that? That's also important. How far away is that? What is today's calendar? No, I just want a calendar. How far are we from there? 2026 calendar, 2026. How far are we from there? So basically, if we look at numbers, if we look at the numbers game, where are we? We're June 9th. So we're here Tuesday. So how many weeks is that? 1, 2, 3. I feel like I'm gonna fuck this up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that's 21 weeks, I think. So how many months is that? That's 5 months away. How many days is that? Oh, that's a good screen. I like that screen. 146 days. That's kind of important. So it's 146 days until midterms. Right? That's, how many months is that? 5 months? Right? 5. Yeah, about 5 months. So it's about almost less than half a year away. Very important. Very important. Right? Very, very important. We have these elections before Christmas, Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday, and before Dune. So before we have this happens a month before Doomsday is in theaters, and Christmas. So let's make it a good Christmas and a good Doomsday, because I'm not going to be able to enjoy either of those movies if I'm upset about this. So let's make it a good one, guys. Do it for me. Do it for me, America. Do it for me. I want to enjoy movies. I want to enjoy movies. So very, very soon, okay? But we're not done. No. Let me make this full screen because we're not done. I need to emphasize. Emphasis. We're not done. How do I zoom this in? I don't want to mess this up. I need to do emphasis. How do I do this? I don't want to. Wait, if I do this, what does it do? I don't want to fuck it up. What do I do, gang? I'll make a new window. Wait, I'll make a new window. Wait. No. I'm making a new window because I need emphasis. Video source. Video capture device. And then I need to fucking... There we go. There we go. Emphasis. Do you know why this is so important? This is important because not only are we electing the 400, the entire U.S. House of Representatives, not only are we electing a third of the U.S. Senate, so 88% of the people that make our laws in the United States of America, not only are we just electing those people, we are also electing dun. We're also electing basically, I think it was 34 out of 50 of the governors of the states. So what that means is, yeah, 36 states. Let's put this up on screen. 36 states. What does that mean? Who is a governor? Oh, I didn't switch the screen. Who is the governor? What is a governor? Why is that important? We're electing 36 of them. Well, guess what? There's 36 out of 50. 50 what? 50 states. A governor is the boss of your state. And we're electing 36 bosses of states. So 36 states are getting, potentially, a new boss. You can see why this is important, right? You can see why this is important, right? And 15 of those states, the guys can't run for re-election. So we're going to get 15 guaranteed new people. Guaranteed new people, right? So basically, think of it like this. The president is the super boss. He's like corporate, big boss. And then you have 50 companies. That's the 50 states. There is one boss for each of those 50 states. They're called the governor. That is the governor. So if you'd say Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, he's the boss of Florida. He's Florida's boss, right? Because every state kind of has their own rules and laws. So right now we got Ronnie DeSantis. He's the boss of Florida. Fuck Ronnie, okay? But we have 50. There's 50 of them, right? And in the midterms, so in this same election that we're electing 88% of the people that are making our laws, we are also electing 36 bosses of 50 bosses. We're electing 36 heads of state of our 50 states. You can see why this is a big deal, right? Because honestly, if you think about it, the president in that election, that's one dude. That's one election, basically. That is one election, and that's one of him, and he's just in the executive branch. This is the legislative branch of the national government, as well as 36 states of America are getting new bosses. Very important stuff. 36 states. Governor elections. Governor. I cannot spell. I can spell. I'm just spelling. What is a governor? The boss of your state. For instance, Ron DeSantis is it's basically a smaller president. So it's like a micro president. So I'm gonna say the president, that kind of gets, I don't want to get terms confused, is the leader of Florida. Right? So we're electing 36 governors. Right? That's huge. So not only are we electing 88% of the legislative branch, we're also electing 36 out of 50. Big fucking deal, gang. So you can see why this is a big effing deal. If you can see by my text document I've made, and guess what? 146 days away. So you can see why this is goddamn important, right? Also, special shout out to our governor election coming up in Florida. Ron DeSantis cannot run again because he's run twice. So I think it's called an incumbent or something. But he basically can't run again because he's a little bitch. So he can't run again. So we're going to get somebody new. Well, we could get somebody just like him. Or we could get somebody new. So that's why I wanted to kind of make this. This is what spurred this whole video, was specifically Florida. However, this is everything. This is everything. Right? Big deal. So if you're paying attention to one thing, pay attention to this. Because guess what? Wow, that's a lot of people. Oh my gosh, I'm not happy with what's going on in the country right now. All right, let's do some emphasis. Guess what? You can vote. All of these people I just described to you, for the people in your state, you can vote. Isn't that crazy? Guess what? You have a say. Every person, if you're watching this right now, you're watching the VOD, you're watching the social media edit videos, you're watching in the future, guess what? Yes, I'm talking to you. You get to vote for the people of your state. So if you have that one House of Representatives seat in North Dakota, guess what? You get to choose them. You get to say who you want. Okay? Now I can't go through every freaking state. I can't go through every single person that's up for election. Maybe I could. But I'm going to focus on my state. And then through that, I hope everyone will do their research and do the same thing for their state and figure out what they need to do. But I want to figure out what I need to do and who we have options to vote for. Because that is important. Because everything we just talked about, you get to decide. This isn't like the president doesn't get to vote on this shit. You know what I mean? This is us. This is the people. This is how many people in the United States? How many people in the United States? Population clock. Gang, we got 342 million people, okay? We got 342 million people. Look, it's going up right now. We're a baby's being born. All right. Oh, the population's going up a person in like a second. That's kind of scary. Okay, but we have 342 million people in the United States. How many people in the United States are eligible to vote? That's important. Right? Nope, that's not right. 2026. Do they have these numbers? Registered voters by state 2026. Okay. Well, okay, United States out of 200. Okay, so we have out of only 2/3 of people in the United States are registered to vote. Are you fucking kidding me? Guys, I made a video about this. It's on my YouTube channel. You can go back through. It's like why we vote. Guys, voting is your voice. If you do not vote, you have no voice. You can say whatever you want on social media. You can be against, for, like things, dislike things, be angry, be pissed, be completely fine, be disinterested, don't care, whatever. Oh man, the gas prices are high. I don't give a shit. If you're not registered to vote, you don't fucking get to say shit. Because guess what? You can say whatever you want. People say shit and say whatever they want all the time. But until you vote, until you put the pen on the paper and say, I want this person, I want this policy, I want this, you ain't doing shit. Because you're not doing anything. All you're doing is yapping. You're yapping, right? Yapping is great. Discussion is great. Saying what you believe is great, and figuring it out and thinking it through and talking about it with other people, amazing. But if you want to make change, if you want to make change in your country and in your state and in your life, you got to fucking vote. Because otherwise, you're just talking a lot of game and hoping somebody else fixes it for you. And that is lazy ass. That is lazy ass behavior. And I think that's just a lot of bullshit. So, yeah. So you can see why this is important. If you're not registered to vote, please, for the love of something, go fucking get registered to vote. Okay? I just did at, I heard that Jacksonville, at least, I heard from Jacksonville, Florida, they were looking good. But other places are not. What is this? Registered voted for? Who's not registered? 5 mil. Only 3.5? Bruh. That's so tough. Vote, gang. Vote. That's so tough. Florida has 14. How many? What's the population of Florida? 23.5 million people. Yeah, so as of last census, I think we're about to have another one. Yeah, so we have about 23 million people, 23.5 mil people. Bro, what is this? What is this rookie ass numbers? Bro, like 2/3 of us are registered to vote. What the fuck? How do you get registered to vote? Do you know what's crazy? Is you have to get registered. Why can't you just fucking vote? How do you get registered to vote? Let's just say, hey, let's say I'm not. Let's just say I'm trying to do this. Like I said, like if somebody, let's say the 1/3 of our fucking state that's not registered. How would I get registered? What would I do? How to register in Florida? Oh, vote.org. Okay. How do we vote? Register or update registration online. Yippee! So I can do it right here. Register or update registration by mail. Oh, I can do it by mail. Register and update in person. Bingo. And I can even do it outside of the US. Amazing. Okay, well, let's do it on the website. Wow. Oh. Well, that's easy. Guys, I did that in 2 seconds. Just type in register to vote and go to registertovote.com if you live in Florida. Hey, let's just go through the steps. Let's see what kind of stuff you need. Let's say this is a new registration. I am a citizen, yes. I am not a convicted felon. I know somebody that is. I affirm that I have not been educated, mentally incapacitated with voting. Yep, we're good. Okay, so that's easy peasy. Next step. Okay, personal identification information. So what do you need? Let's see what you need. You'll need a driver's license. This is just if you're in Florida. You have to go through, if you have a different state, you'll have to go check and see what you need. But it's probably similar stuff. Florida's probably shittier about it, but I don't know. So your Florida driver's license or Florida identification card. The issue date, and then the last 4 digits of your social security number. That's like pretty standard. Like to vote, you need a driver's license and your social, I guess. I've got both of those. Type in the last 4 of those quirky little digits on the end of your social card. So yeah, you need your driver's license, the issue date, and the last 4 digits, and then you put in all your shit. Can I just next? Okay, so I can't go beyond this unless I put shit in. Can I put fake shit? Would they let me do fake shit? Maybe I could just do fake shit because I just want to get to the next thing. That's too much work. Okay, but that's pretty standard. Like I'm able to do this on a website. They said you can do it in person and shit. Let's see what the other ways are. So if let's say I don't do it this way. Register by mail. So basically, and you have to register 29 days before election day. I wonder if there's like I wonder if it happens immediately or it has to get like processed. Because what if it's like, oh, we have to process it for a year? That's stupid. Register or update registration by mail. You can use Florida's mail-in registration forms to register for local, state, and national elections for the first time. Or update your registration with a new name and address. You'll need to print the form. And you'll need access to a printer and a postage stamp. That's doable. I think you can you can print stuff at like the library, and you can get a postage stamp. Those are fucking cheap. Yep. So basically, and you can do it online for free. So if you have internet, you can do it for free. If you don't have internet, you can do it for very cheap. If you have no money, you can go in person. And if you don't have a car, ask a friend to get you there. And then you guys can get registered to vote together. And if you're outside the US, then there's a whole thing they got for that. So that's cool. Make sure your information is up to date. What does that mean? Let's go to the small print. Okay, you can check your status, I guess. So you can also check your status on there too. So there you go. So that wasn't hard. I did that in 5 seconds? I just typed in how to register to vote and I did it. And guess what? 1/3 of Florida is not registered to vote. Where is we? Where's Florida? Florida. 15 million people out of how many people? So we have 8 million people that are not registered to vote in Florida. That's fucking bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. What are they doing? Guys, okay, we have time to fix this, guys. We got time to fix this. You do know that you're voting for the people that are making the laws in your country, right? You know you're voting for the person that's running your state, right? You know that you're making choices that are going to directly impact you day to day, and if you don't know that or don't believe that, then your head is in a box. You are in a dumpster, curled up in a dumpster, not lid closed, not listening. This is you. You're literally in a fucking dumpster. This is you. This is POV, you're you. This is anybody that is saying, "Oh, I don't need to register to vote." That's privilege talking. Everyone needs to vote. And as I just showed you, at least in Florida, you can do it in 2 seconds. All you need is your social, your driver's license. Very easy, right? And if there's some convoluted stuff beyond that, I would love to hear people if you got in the comments or if I edit this video down and people watch this video. It's very important, right? Nice. So I've been yapping for 45 minutes about the overview of how the system works so that I can explain to you what I just learned this morning, which is kind of shook things. The world got shooken up. Dumpster baby. If you're not registered to vote, you dumpster baby. Get out of the dumpster. Get into the streets. Okay? Get the victory royale. Get registered to vote. Okay. So where was I? What are we doing? Oh yeah, the whole reason I fucking talked about this. So now that you know the overview of everything, the midterms, why they're important, when it is, who we're voting for, why that's a big fucking deal, and kind of how every state kind of functions in that equation, let's talk about specifically the Florida governor elections. Why is this important? Well, it's important because right now we have Ronnie DeSantis. And if you don't know who Ronnie is, he is a piece of shit. We don't like Ronnie. Ronnie is kind of the worst. He's kind of a nasty little guy. He's not good. He's not likable. He's just a guy. He is the most shit-eating grin I've ever seen in my entire life. Ronnie constantly looks like he's just shit-eating grin. I don't have basically anything nice to say about Ronnie. I just wish he could be a nice person. What a great timeline it would be if Ron DeSantis was a nice guy. Like, imagine if this guy supported schools and education and, like, I don't know, just being a good person. And instead he's just a piece of shit. Sorry, Ronnie. Not sorry. You're kind of just a bully. So we got Ronnie. Good news for us Floridians out there. Ronnie can't run again. And what's that called? I forgot what that's called. It's called... So... Incumbent. An incumbent is the one that's currently in office, I believe. If we look up the definition, not 21 weeks. Don't get me demonetized, Twitch. Incumbent is the current holder of an office or position. So basically, he's the current guy. So if you see incumbent governor, it means this is current. It's just a stupid word for current. So instead of them just saying current governor, they're like, it's the incumbent governor. It just makes it more confusing. Okay? But he's basically current governor Ron DeSantis is ineligible. He is ineligible, which means he cannot run again because he has had 2 consecutive terms. He cannot run for a third. Okay? Oof, this is tough. Here's the tough sitch, Floridians. Brace yourself. Republicans have won every governor election in Florida since 1998. That's the tough rub. That is the tough rub. So basically, it's tough. But it said since 1998. Doesn't mean it can't change. However, we just got dealt a very big blow. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, because that's what I woke up to this morning, and I saw this, and I was like, oh no, what happened? What happened? So basically, who's running for governor in Florida, right? So every state, you got to look this up for your own state, right? Let me full screen this just to. Every state has 36 out of our 50 states are having governor elections. So unless you're one of the states that's not or has already have it, you're okay for now. You should still be involved in all this because there's still the U.S. Senate, and it said you're still involved. You just might not be electing the president of your state. Okay. However, let me be clear. So, Florida, the people that are running for governor, I had this pulled up. Florida governor. You can tell I'm used to having a lot of tabs open. Okay. So basically. Oh, and the filing oh shit. Okay, oh, this is important, gang. Okay, this is actually a really good time to make this video. The filing deadline to run for governor is June 12th. It is June 9th. So 3 days. There are 3 days. You have 3 days to register. So basically, anybody will maybe have some last minute registers, maybe not. I don't think it'd be smart to register now unless you're like a celebrity or something, because there's no way you can get the fucking traction, right? The primary is August 18th. We'll talk about what that means. Here we go. Oh, love. Okay, so basically this is incorrect. So this is what I was looking at last time I was here. And according to this, it's like here are kind of some of the prominent candidates. We have Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins. We have Orange County, he's a Republican. We have, for other Republican, we have Byron Donalds. We have James Fishback. He's got a fish on his back. And we have Paul Renner. So we have 4 Republican candidates running, at least. Those are the prominent ones, right? And then for Democrats, who do we got? Who are our options? Well, we got Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings. I did research on him. I did research on Jay and Jerry. So Jerry's got some stuff. We'll talk about Jerry in a second. David Jolly. So there's a guy named David Jolly. Now, I'm just going to speak for all of Florida here. I'm 99% sure that a man named Jolly is not going to get elected in Florida. It doesn't matter. Like, I have not done research on him, but it is very tragic that Florida would rather elect some bullshit fucking governor than elect anybody that could make positive change in this fucking state. I don't care if their name's Jolly. I don't care if their name is Happy Big Guy. Put them in government. If they're a good person and they're going to make good change, put them fucking in. This state, unfortunately, I do not believe will elect David Jolly. I didn't even know he existed until I just started doing research on this. I knew some of these other guys maybe existed. But not really. Oh, I think this is this guy. Is this guy? Oh, God. Okay. Back to it. So that's kind of unfortunate. But I think that, yeah, Florida's just kind of fucked, but other states probably a better. But I say we're not fucked. We're not fucked. We can, I don't know. You're never in a fucking no-win situation. But I'm just saying, based on my observations of Florida, we're probably going to see something very similar unless things change, or unless if we had a powerful person to run against whoever the front runner is, we would have a shot. But I don't know if we have the star power to do that, but we'll see. Maybe somebody could jump in the next, how many days? Yeah, 3 days. They got 3 days left to decide if they want to run for governor. The stream is on June 9th. Filing deadline is June 12th. So they got like no time. No time, okay? But here's why this is really important. This is why this is really important, right? Because I did research so far. I've done research. I started doing research because I want to know who's running, right? I want to know who's going to be running for governor of Florida, right? I did research on Jay Collins. He's a Republican. And I did research on Jerry Demings, who is a Democrat. I wanted to kind of just start going down the list, seeing who does what. Now, here's why this is important. Jerry was one of the 2 prominent Democratic candidates. Jerry Demings he's like basically been a cop and a sheriff his whole life, right? So I'm not a big fan of that. However, it seemed like he was a pretty good guy. He was not a bad person by any means. He was not actively targeting any group of people or doing anything bad. So he was just a very good cop, which is just, I guess, the situation. But he is, I believe, the sheriff of Orange County in Florida. And I was like, okay, so he doesn't have a rap sheet, but he also is not like, he's not going to beat anybody else. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the WWE. I'll talk about this, but he doesn't have like the fucking WWE presence. You know, if you want to win something as big as a governor election or the presidency, you need a certain level of, I call it star power. You need star quality. You need to have the ability. You also need to be social media savvy. You also need to be like, you have to be visible in people's minds. They have to know your name. They have to know who you are. And you have to get out there and you have to be a powerhouse on the internet. And if you can't do that, there is a very, very, very low chance that you will get any attention or elected. You need that. You need this presence, right? So I don't know if Jerry has cultivated enough of a presence. So I was like, okay, well, at least we have two Democratic candidates. At least we'll have one of these guys. Maybe one of them could be really good. Unfortunately, I looked, and on the Wikipedia page for the gubernatorial elections, I scrolled down. I was like, oh, okay, so there's the Republican primary. We have a lot of people running. Oh, wait, let me pull it up. We have a lot of people running, right? So we got a lot of guys for Republicans, right? If you scroll down to the Democratic primary, oh wow, who do we have running? David Jolly. Where's Jerry? Jerry, withdrawn. Jerry, why are you withdrawn? Jerry, what happened? Jerry, why did you withdraw? Okay, so Jerry, unfortunately, Jerry Dimmings just got a cancer diagnosis. Cancer stole Jerry from us. Not yet. He's alive. He's alive, but he's no longer in the running because he got prostate cancer, which fucking sucks. And also, he doesn't look like a crook, which is great. I'll show you the other guys. Not great options. He's the mayor of Orange County. So he's the Orange County mayor. He was the former police chief. But I did some research. He was also, important thing about Jerry, he was the person on the police side in charge, I believe, of Orange County during the Pulse nightclub massacre. So he was the guy that dealt with that. So if you don't know what that is, if you're not, I had to learn about it recently too, because I didn't know the full extent. But the Pulse nightclub was I believe a gay club in Orlando. Yeah, the shooting. So the Pulse nightclub, it's in Orlando. Pulse nightclub, yeah, it was in Orlando. Yeah. This was not a great, if you're don't want to hear about something truly terrible, skip ahead until this is off the screen. But this was a pretty it's hard to talk about this. Basically, there was the Pulse nightclub. It was a gay club in Orlando, and there was a shooting. This was in 2016, June 12th, 2016. So, basically, I think that was about 8 years ago. 49 people were killed and 58 were wounded. So by a shooter. So not cool. But Jerry Dimmings was the guy that I think was in charge. So he was the guy that handled everything. He was the guy that handled all of that. So he is connected to, and also he's been, because he's the mayor of Orange County, he's been also the one kind of leading there's a memorial that is getting built. He's the guy that's leading that. So that was my big thing for Jerry, is I know he is deeply entwined with the LGBTQ community because he was the guy that was in charge. Yeah, he was the Orange County sheriff. Yeah. Yeah. So there's Jerry. This is Jerry. Just a guy. Yeah. Yeah. Where's the Oh, Ronnie threatened to remove him from office last August, in August 2025. Where is the do they not talk about it? Yeah, it's just here. Yeah, but he was the sheriff for Orange County. Yeah, he oversaw the initial emergency response and coordinated county resources during the tragedy. So yeah, he's deeply connected. Yeah. Yeah. Sheriff Dimmings. Okay, so that's Jerry. Got a little emotional there. Understandable. But he's out of the race now. So that was one of our, as you can see, unfortunately, the Republican primary, we have a lot of options. And the Democratic primary, we have... Damn, Angie didn't even do it. Okay, so we have David Jolly and Dana Marie Foster, a mathematics teacher. She doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. Well, she's cooked. So Jerry's out. Oh, withdrawn, a social media influencer. Who's the fuck is Jessica Vernicar? She's withdrawn. Oh, she wasn't winning. Girl. Give me a second. Girl. I don't even know who she is, bro. She was not winning. Well, I guess we have David Jolly. So this is our guy. So I guess this is the Democratic candidate because there's 3 days left to register. Everybody else has kind of dropped or declined. So I guess David's our guy. Well, I guess it's time to learn about David. This is going to be a trip. So I haven't done research on David yet. I did do research, so I have done research. I did research on Jerry, but unfortunately Jerry has prostate cancer and he dropped out, unfortunately. So that was what I woke up to this morning. My phone is actually open on my bed behind me and it's got it still open because I literally saw that and then I jumped on to get on stream. So basically, that's where we're at. We lost Jerry. Not lost him, but he's out of the running. And so we have David. Dana Marie Foster, the mathematics teacher, is not going to win the primary because I don't even know who she is, and she does not have a Wikipedia page, unfortunately. Let's just, for shits and giggles, I want to see who this lady is. Dana, who are you, girl? Oh, she seems nice. She is not going to beat whoever the fucking Republican candidate is, but I'm rooting for her. Aw. Wow, she seems nice. She's probably been a public servant for over a decade. She wants to get Florida back into the hands of the people. That sounds great. Campaign is focused on 6 policy pillars. Economic opportunities for working Floridians. Affordable housing now. Healthcare that works for all. Immigrants make us stronger. No humans make us legal. Gun reform for a safer tomorrow. And fix and fully fund public education. So that's some good, I'd say good. Florida first is more than a slogan. So Florida first is their slogan. So she seems cool. I did not know that she existed, but now I do. I don't think she has the star power yet, but she could. She's got a picture. Hey, she has a picture on Ballotopedia, which tells me a lot, because there's a lot of people that do not have a picture on Ballotopedia, and she does. So that's kind of important. Okay, so we at least have Dana Foster. So basically, it's between, right now, you can either, for who our Democratic representative, so whoever's going to be the president of Florida, basically. For the Democratic side of things, we have Dana and we have Jolly. What's his first name? I don't even remember his name. This is not David Jolly. Okay, so just, you guys are going to get my live reaction because I know jack shit about David Jolly. This is going to be me live learning about David Jolly right now. I'm learning about him. I have no idea what he's going to be like. He could be shit. He could be crazy. I don't know. He could be great. I know jack shit about David. So we're about to learn about him. So you'll get to see me live learn about this guy. So let's figure out who this fella is. All right, David. David Wilson Jolly, he was born in 1972. How old is he? He's 53. He's an American attorney, politician, and lobbyist. Oh, great. Who served as a U.S. representative for Florida's. Okay. Okay, so he served as a U.S. representative for something. He was a Republican. He served as a Republican from 2014 to 2017. After leaving office, Jolly became a prominent Republican critic of President Donald Trump, let's go, baby, and a political pundit. And he left the Republican Party in 2018. Yeah, so he was a Republican until basically Trump came in, and then he was like, "Firk this shit. Firk this shit." So, respect. And then in April 2025, Jolly switched his party resignation to run in the 2020. So he did a switch up. So basically a year ago, he was like, no, fuck this shit. I'm running as a Democrat. Let's go. So he basically is like, all right, I'm not a Republican anymore. Now insert Democrat. Go, go, go. So he is probably going to be, this is probably going to be our Democratic representative. So when we're voting for governor, he's going to be the guy on the ballot that's Democrat. So this is David. So let's learn about him. So I like that he is the problem is, here's my problem, right? All right, let's talk about this. This is important. If your sole, my sole purpose for electing you is you're not this guy, then that's a problem. If it's like, oh, I'm going to pick you because you're not this one guy I hate. You're not Trump, right? So I'm going to vote for you because you're not this guy. Or I'm going to vote for you because you're not this candidate. Well, what does that sound like? That's just bullshit. That's just BS. That's not going to get anybody anywhere. That's not going to do anything. Right? Because what's that going to do? That's not going to help anybody. It's not doing anybody any good. Because if your selling point is that you're not the other guy, then do you really have something to offer? I want to vote for you because you have something to offer, because you're doing things a certain way or you have certain policies. If I'm voting for you solely for the fact that you're not the other guy and that's the only thing you're running on, then that's a problem. So let's see what David's got to offer. Dave Jolly. It says Dave over here. Does he go by Dave or David? David Jolly. Okay, I think he goes by David. Yeah, he's David and all the... David Jolly. Yeah, he's okay, so he's David. We'll call him David. We're not going to call him Dave. He's David. Where's Jolly? All right, David Jolly. He was born in Florida. Okay, he grew up in Dade County. Oh. Yikes. Okay. He early career. I'm just looking. Congressional career. Let's see. We got early career, congressional career, tenure, post congressional elections. Do we have policies? Okay, so let's look at his policies, and we'll go back in time and kind of see how we get here. Okay. So basically, this is his campaign for governor of Florida. So basically, the leader of Florida. So as his campaign for leader of Florida, let's see what I was going to call him Jim Jolly, David Jolly. Jolly states that unlike Charlie Crist, I don't really know much about him. You say, I didn't leave the party. The Republican Party left me, which I think is the sentiment I would say for most people. His experience is different as he himself left the Republican Party and changed his views. He argues that this is a strength, not a weakness. Yeah, it's very, listen, if you can think about what you believe, you can kind of hear other people's opinions, hear other discussions, be open. You don't need to just because somebody tells you something doesn't mean you need to believe that, but just be open to discussing because everyone comes from a different place. Everyone has a different background. I'm an example, right? And not everybody knows what you know. And not everybody's looking for the same things you are, right? So a great example is me and my good friend. We had a really hard political discussion, but also a very good one because we were both coming from different places. We also have different policies and things we're looking for and opinions on stuff, which is everyone. Nobody thinks exactly alike, right? So if you're unwilling to talk with someone because they believe different things than you, that's where people get stuck, right? Because I don't need someone to believe the things I do, but I just want it's a discussion, right? You just need to discuss. They're not gonna I just want to hear what you believe, and I want to tell you what I believe, and then we can discuss it and talk about the reasons, right? So that's important. So we had a great discussion. I realized that my friend did not know about trans issues and had no fucking clue was because they're not in that world, but I am, so I can inform them of that. And they were also had information on stuff that I'm not involved with, but they could give me information about that. So we were able to share. It's sharing, right? It's there's stuff you can get that I can't learn everything. I don't know about every policy, but maybe he cares about something and I care about something, and we can share and then learn what we need to do. But that's discussion. That's healthy discussion, right? It's not, oh, this person, because sometimes somebody says something and you're like, what the heck? And then someone on either side, people get really mad and they stop listening. Because they're like, oh, you believe different than me. Oh, you're this party, not this party. People stop listening. As soon as people kind of get resistance or somebody doesn't agree with them right away or they're not coming from the same place, they put up a barrier and they get angry and they go, no, no, no. And it's like, but dude, nobody comes from the same place that you do. So if your first response to having somebody give a different opinion is just to yell, there is a ant on my camera. He's crawling around the lens. What the fuck? How do I get him out of here? Girl, how do I get you out of here? Shit. Okay, we're taking an ant break as I remove this ant from my camera. Do you guys leave the... What the fuck? Okay, so I need to remove this guy from the camera. Where'd he go? Okay, we're gonna do a quick intermission while I remove an ant from my camera. What is the screen I had? Oh, that was the zoom in. We'll be back. Ant secured. Okay, we're so back. Ant is. I took him outside. I caught him in a jar and took him outside. But I was like, bro, what are you doing on my fucking camera, bro? We're talking about David Jolly, bro. This is tough. Okay, so back to David. Where were we before the ant interrupted? I'll call this the ant break in like the chapter titles. You know what? I touched a dusty jar. I'm allergic to dust mites, so I'm gonna wash my hands. So where were we? Ah, yes. David Jolly, forgive me. Policies. Let's talk about his policies. So, Jolly states he's pro-choice, and he supports Florida restoring reproductive freedom. Roe versus Wade, great. He said that having grown up in he grew up religious. He would introduce legislation to codify abortion rights. So he's pro-abortion. He was endorsed by leaders of Florida's. Okay, so he was endorsed by the leaders of Florida's pro-choice movement, including Gwen Graham, who wrote that they trusted him and his change in perspective. Jolly has also revised his stance on gun control. Really good. Initially supporting a broad interpretation of the Second Amendment, he now advocates for stricter firearm regulations. Thank you, Jim. Or I keep calling him Jim Jolly. There's another guy called Jim Jolly. David Jolly. He expresses support for measurements such as licensing, registration, and insurance requirements for gun ownership. Yep, he has cited the 2016 Pulse nightclub shooting as a turning point. Okay, so he's also connected to LGBTQ stuff. Good point. Noting his participation as the only Republican joining Democrats in the House floor to call for legislative action. Okay, okay. Okay, let me just say that real quick. You know how embarrassing that is? You have a targeted nightclub shooting, and some people were not for getting legislation for that. Embarrassing. Like, actually fucking embarrassing. Like, I'm actually kind of disgusted with those people. Like, fuck those people, bro. Fuck them. Honestly. Like, I have more words. Ugh. Like, gross. Ugh. Make me fucking barf. Jesus. Jolly now supports comprehensive background checks, including for private and so he has stated that he views unlimited and largely unrestricted access to firearms as a primary contributor to gun violence. It's mostly people, but like, yeah, just, he said that Republicans are lying when they said that gun owners and a lack of gun control are the problem in cases of gun violence and mass shootings. They're not that they're, also this is Wikipedia, so I'm not going to take everything I read. Never, if you're doing research on people, like, this is not the only place I'm going to look, right? You got to look at multiple sources. I'm just trying to get an overview of what this guy is, and then I'm going to go look at other sources and learn more about this guy. I'm not going to pull everything just, like, you cannot pull everything just from one place. You cannot pull everything from one source. You need to go from multiple sources, right? So let's look. Jolly says that he wants the votes of gun owners because he respects their rights and believes they're not the problem. Interesting. So he's trying to get like the gun owner vote because he's like, no, you're not the problem. It's just, I want to make sure gun restrictions. So he's like saying, I'm pro you. Interesting. Here is that non-law abiding gun owning voters will be heard by his proposals, which will protect their children. Jolly says the Democratic Party's values are absolutely right and do not need to be changed, unlike what some prominent Democrats have proposed. Okay, so he's kind of like, I don't know. He feels more like a classical guy, like a classical. I don't give a shit about, like, see, like, the parties mean nothing. Parties are a smokescreen. Parties mean nothing. Oh, he divorced his first wife. Ah, he's married again. Cool. Okay, so he divorced first wife in 2014. So he was married for 9 years, and then he married somebody new. And he has 2 children with them. Okay. So we didn't have any children with the first wife. That's good. Wow. Okay. Great. Okay. So let's learn more about David Jolly. If this is going to be our guy... Like, just from reading that, if that was all he had to fucking offer, is like, he's like, well, let me just, I want to look, let's see what his website says. David Jolly for Governor. He's got a good logo, Jolly for Governor. That's a pretty good logo to have up. Let me see if I can get a picture of this. Oh, he's not the first guy that comes up. That's a problem. Where's his fucking poster? Where's his poster? I gotta look it up. Not Oster. Poster. It's on his... Okay, there it is. Okay. God, it took fucking 1,000 miles to fucking get this. Okay. Jolly for Governor. You can put that anywhere. It's a tough sell, though. Tough sell. That's like having your... I know, it's tough. It's people are really shallow like that. You know, I feel like it's like, if it's like, oh, it'd be like, Buggy Goo for governor. And it's like, it doesn't really fucking matter what you're, like, positive. People would be like, oh, Buggy Goo, that's a stupid name. I'm not going to vote for you. It's like, I don't know. It's just his name, bro. Like, look at what he's fucking saying. People... You gotta, like, people can talk a lot of talk. You gotta look at what they're actually saying, and you gotta look at what, like, their actions. Like, you look at the facts. Like, they can say a lot of shit. Let's look at the facts. Who is this person? What do they do? Okay, well, Dana's cool. I like Dana. But David is a white man in Florida, so. All right, let's look at his website. This is David Jolly's official website. Let's take a look. All right, issues. So get connected. Okay, support David. Support David. Get to know David. Okay, David Jolly. So he advertises on his website. A person of deep faith believes in treating everyone with kindness, dignity, and respect. It is time to believe in a future where everyone has a fair shot to build their future. It's time for this to happen. Florida's so fucking embarrassing, bro. Anywhere that's not like everyone's got a fair shot is so fucking annoying. David grew up in Florida, son of a pastor. Today, David and his wife Laura are raising their young family in Pinellas County, where he served in Congress from 2014 to 2017. In Congress, David focused on helping veterans and seniors, supporting law enforcement, protecting the environment, and bringing resources back to Florida. David's work to clean up government corruption was featured on 60 Minutes. Okay, David. David Jolly, 60 Minutes. When was this? Ooh. Oh, shit. Watch 60 Minutes dialing for dollars. Okay, I might need to watch this and then report back. Following is a script from Dialing for Dollars. It aired in 2016. So this was a long time ago. So he's advertising that he was on 60 Minutes fighting against corruption 8 years ago. What have you been doing recently to do that? This is 2016. So this was so much has changed in 8 years. Like so much has changed. He won a special election to Congress in March 2014. Okay, I might need to watch this because this is a little confusing. Okay, so he talks about like he does something with like corruption, dialing for dollars. So he talks about something. Okay, but he puts that he was on 60 Minutes, but he was 8 years ago. You know what I mean? Let's learn more about David Jolly, because he believes we can and must do better. Duh. Bro. Oh my god. Like, I hate when people like run on the fact of like, oh, just basic human respect. This is my running point. It's like, then what are the other guys running on? Not that. David became nationally known for his independent streak, leading the Tampa Bay Times to write, "It's refreshing to hear someone take on the system." One Washington Post columnist facingly penned, "Jolly speaks the truth." And upon leaving Congress, another columnist wrote, "Farewell to the one congressman willing to compromise." David has spent the last 8 years, as a political analyst on MSNBC. His work, what the fuck? I didn't know this. So he's been on TV. Okay, so he has some TV. Bro, I didn't know this. His work has been featured in Time, USA Today, Roll Call, The Washington Post, The New York Times, blah, 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 blah. He received a bachelor's degree. Holy shit. Okay, so David Jolly, MSNBC. So I don't know what the difference between MSNBC and NBC is. Oh, they updated. They're now called MS Now. Okay, MS. Yeah, let's see how they lean. Okay, it's a left leaning. Okay, so it's a very Democrat. He's been a very yeah. Oh, they are hard left. Hard left. So this is basically, they're like, let's look at just comparison CNN. Leaning. Okay. So CNN, which is one of the places that I definitely look at, but I try to set it, you look at multiple sources, right? And recently they started trying to fucking charge you money. Fucking CNN, New York Times, you can't fucking look at anything. That's so annoying. So they lean left, but they're kind of close to center. They try to they're definitely left leaning. What is Fox News? Let's look at Fox News leaning. Oh gosh. Well, all sides have low or initial confidence in this. That's so tough. Okay, who's in the middle? Balanced news. Okay, so they pull from everything. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't even know what that fucking means. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'd say Forbes is pretty center. Where's New York Times? Is it even on here? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I look at a lot. I usually I do like this. I didn't know Vox was super. And like, here's the thing, right? Does this mean anything? Not, it means like one, it barely means kind of one thing, and that's kind of it. Like, this is just kind of like, it's basically saying like on the grand scheme, I guess, of like, basically, where do you fall in the like, how do you approve of what's going on in America right now? And just being interesting. You can kind of see, you can clearly see the difference in, I treat it like this. Everything over here, I like. This is tough. This, I don't really read any of this. This is kind of tough. But it said, you gotta be, there's bias on both sides, but then there's also, but like, you gotta just understand, like, some stuff is just like, I'm not gonna read stuff that's not talking about important things. But you gotta just it's something to be mindful of. So they're a super left-leaning. So it's a super left-leaning news media. Like, they are just as left-leaning as Fox Media is right-leaning or whatever. You know what I mean? So he was a political, yeah, and you can tell stuff is biased when you look in, like, look at headlines and stuff. New York Knicks fans were afraid Trump would ruin it, and he did. Like, that's not news. That's, like, bias. You know, news is, oh, this is what happened. Like, I want to know, I'm like, here are the facts. Trump was at the Knicks game, and he got booed out of the fucking building. Like, everyone was fucking booing him. There's videos on social media, you can watch it, right? This is just trying to control, thunderously booed. Right? It's like, that's so, I can't read shit like that. So that's, like I said, you gotta be aware of what you're reading and just be aware of bias, because you can, if stuff sounds biased in the headlines, it's usually a biased website. I don't read stuff like biased sites like that, because it's just, you're not getting away. They're just telling you, like, this is what we think, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't care, just tell me. I want to know the facts. Some stuff they try to have a spin on it. I'm like, don't give me no spin. What fucking happened? Right, so they rebrand. So MSNBC rebranded to MS Now. Is there a Wikipedia page? Yeah. Okay. What did the logo used to look like? Yeah, it was just NBC. So he was an NBC guy. They just rebranded to, when did they rebrand? When was their rebrand? What? When did they rebranded in? They rebranded this year? They were, oh, November 15th, 2025, 6 months ago, as MS Now. So they just rebranded. Okay. So now let's look at MSNBC David. Bro, why does he not come up? Was this like, was he? This is on his fucking thing. Where? Oh, he's a political consultant. What is that? Could mean anything. That could mean he comes on one fucking time. Let me get on it. What's this? He has spent the last 8 years as a political analyst on MSNBC. Let's fact check that. This is tough to like. I need to like see this. Thank you, PBS, for being awesome. He has built a national profile as an anti-Trump political commentator on MSNBC. But I said, like, if that's it, let's just talk about this. If your whole base is that you're just anti the other guy, that's so fucking stupid. Oh, yeah, he's the other side of the coin. It's not even like bro, it's the same shit. It's the same shit. It's just said no Republican is gonna vote for this guy because his whole thing is I hate the other guy. And not, here are my good policies. Oh my god. Ugh. Bleh. But at least this man has fucking more, like, more of a sheet than fucking our other guy. What's my guy's name? What was his name? Oh, oops. I did not mean to. Oops. Sorry, did not mean to put that up. What is his name? Jay Collins. Fuck Jay Collins. Oh, those are independent. I was like, who the fuck are those? Jerry Demings. Rest in peace, my guy, Jerry. He's like, I have been a political analyst for 8 years. I'm like, where? Where? You say it on your website. Where? Here, I'm gonna pull this up on fucking... Ugh. I'm gonna do this. Oh, there's a Nintendo Treehouse? Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna switch... I'm going to do some checking on this real quick. So, David Jolly. If you search David Jolly on YouTube. What is it? He said MSNBC? MSNBC. He said this on his website. Okay, so let's see what he's got to say. Okay. So according to YouTube, here's what he's got. Slamming Trump. The other guys lack ideas. Says the Trumpo is weak, has hate in his heart. Democrats' path to Florida. This is okay, we're leaving. That's Fox 35. It's not even him. David Jolly. Ron DeSantis sucks. David Jolly. I hope the other guys lose. The Republicans suck. Okay. Those are his most viewed videos. Is the other guy sucks. Okay. We know that. We know they're shit people. What are you gonna do about it, David? This grinds my gears. This grinds my fucking gears. Okay, so I can't super confirm. I'm not gonna like say that he's this what he said he is, but because this could mean fucking anything. I was a political analyst. That means he like maybe appeared like 10 times. Like so he's appeared on the fucking thing. He talks on the show. He's there. He's just like I hate Trumpo, and it's like that's a great base to stand on. Yeah. So does. Yeah. Okay. You filled out the bare minimum for existing in this country. What are you gonna do about it? Who are you? If your entire personality if your entire personality is your hate boner for these other people and this other party, then you have fucking nothing. Like I don't give a shit about you. The only reason I'd vote for this guy is because he's not the other guy. But then do I want this guy? I don't know. I don't want this guy. I want somebody else. Give me somebody else. If this guy's whole thing is he's not the other guy, then that's fucking bullshit. What a fucking lame-ass excuse. But he's probably going to be our guy. And then he's not going to get elected because he has nothing to stand on. Except that he hates Trump. Great. We love to see it. Anything else? At least he would not be a bad piece of shit. But, you know, issues. What is he? Issues. David Jolly believes in. Solving our let's look at this issue. Solving our affordability and insurance crisis. Saving our schools. Campaign finance and ethics. You know what's crazy? Mamdani in New York City is fucking... I want him in charge of everything. He is the greatest fucking guy. He's doing everything right. He's doing everything right. If you haven't looked him up, look him the fuck up. If America was run like New York fucking City... we would not be angry. Our nervous systems would not be overwhelmed. Life would be fine. Instead, we have to deal with these pieces of shit that are trying to ruin everything. Mamdani is showing how easy it is to not be a piece of shit. And all these guys are doing is showing how they can easily be pieces of shit. And do you want to, like, history's going to remember you being a piece of shit. They think that they're not going to be remembered being a piece of shit. And it's like, you're going to be remembered being a piece of shit. Is that how you want to be remembered? Strengthening Florida's economy, restoring reproductive freedom, investing in climate, restoring services for our veterans, giving Florida's families access to Florida's universities, reducing gun violence, what does that mean? Clean energy, home rule and direct democracy. Across Florida, voters continue to use their vote to choose the direction of their state and their community, but Tallahassee politicians preempt the will of the voters. Okay, he's just saying, this guy sucks. These guys suck. Florida should be good. Fighting crime, not communities. Delivering affordable healthcare to Floridians. Treating everyone... See that? Treating everyone... Okay, I can't zoom in on this. Treating everyone with kindness, dignity, and respect. See, now he's a man of... He says he's a man of God and stuff. So, and he is like, treat everyone with kindness and respect. So learn from him. He's doing the bare minimum. Thank God, David Jolly is doing the bare minimum. Treat people respectfully. Also, I hate the other guy. Bro, guess what? I can do better than this. Dude, I can do better than this. Also, being a politician, professionally, is a fucking shit gig. Why would you be a politician? Professionally. You're literally saying, I'm a professional asshole. I know how to work this system. You know, the whole reason Trump got elected in the first place is because he wasn't a fucking politician. Which I think is what this country needs, is we need people elected in charge that are not fucking politicians. Or if they are politicians, at least do something good. But what Mamdani is showing everybody is you can just fucking do good things and just go for it. Just keep going. And these people, they're not even giving us the basics. And we have people actively showing how easy it is when you have good leadership and people that actually want to make change. And also people that are treating people with kindness and respect. Like, just fuck all these people. Like, dude, I'm so sick of living in Florida, bro. Fuck Florida. God. Ugh. Okay. Like, next. Media. Oh, maybe he shows the stuff he's in. My name is David Jolly. Here is my X page. Sorry, I'm just bullying this fucking guy because I know nothing about this fucking guy. Are you going door to door? Are you doing anything? What are you doing? Oh my god. I wouldn't vote for this. I wouldn't vote for this guy if he paid me money. You know why? Because he's not coming to communities. Is he? Maybe he is. I don't know what he's fucking... I don't know what this guy is, dude. If I'm having to dig this much and I can't figure out what this guy's doing, then I don't really know what I'm fucking doing. Okay. Dana. You're great. You're fucking great, Dana. Let's look at her. She doesn't have a Wikipedia, does she? Okay. She's been endorsed by... Oh, she's been endorsed by 50501? Fuck yeah. Okay, I'd put her in. Is she gonna win? A woman of color, governor of Florida. Okay, we've talked about the Democratic candidates. We've talked about Dana. We've talked about Jerry Demings. And we've talked about David Jolly. That's what we got. And now we get to look at these Republican candidates. I know one of the motherfuckers. I know one of them. Oh, this is tough. I'm really tired. I need to close some tabs. Let's go full screen while I close some fucking tabs. I need a break. But I'm so in. I'm like so locked in. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I need to eat an egg. Okay, we're back. Blech. All right, let's go through. Let me just close everything we're not using. Give me my polo shirt. And you give me my polo shirt. Kim Petras released her new album, Detour. It's fucking awesome. I listened to it literally like 3 times back to back when we were on vacation. So fucking cool. Dun, 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 dun. Ronnie. Okay, I think that's better. Okay. Dana. Okay, so we've talked about the kind of guys we got running for Democrats. Remember, there's like 3 days left to register. So basically, these are the 2 we've got. Let's talk about the other side. So I already did research on one of these people. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about them. So according to my research, no. Oh no. Okay, that's him. Oh no. Oh, I just saw him. I remembered. Oh no. Okay, we'll talk about the other guy. And then we'll talk about the piece of shit. Damn it. Okay, I need to move out of Florida. I'll probably move to a different state, I think, because this state is such a fucking shit show. It's so bad. God, it's so bad. God, it's so bad. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, I'm moving out of this goddamn state. Okay, where are we? Oh, yeah, that's... Okay, so what's his name? So there's a lot of people that have declared that they're running, right? However, we're going to come back to him. Let's talk about Jay Collins, okay? This is a guy I did research on him. Let me get that pulled up. I did some research on Jay. Now, who the fuck is Jay Collins, right? So he's a guy that's going to be on the ballot. Who is he? Where's my fucking... There he is. I have a whole Google Doc of research I did. Because I was like, I want to know who these people are, right? Because these are people that are... This is going to be the head of my fucking state. I need to know who these people are. Let's talk about this fucking piece of shit. All right, so basically, through all my research, I did a lot of research. Just how you saw me do research for those other people, I did research for him. Jay Collins. Let's pull him up. Where is he? Dana, where the fuck is it? Jay... It's David. Jay Collins. All right, who is Jay? Jared. Oh, guys. That's crazy. Jared Collins. Okay, so basically, here's what you need to know about Jared. I call him Jared. Here's what you need to know about Jared. He's done one good fucking thing. And all the research I did, he's only done one thing that I would put in like a check mark for him as like, oh, he's got one good thing going for him. Everything else he's done, bullshit. Like, it's actually crazy. Let's go through. So basically, Jay Collins, right? Here's important things. So basically, he is Ron DeSantis, who's Florida's president, Florida's governor. Remember, governor is like the president of the state. So Ron DeSantis, who's our guy, he is Ron DeSantis's basically second in command. He is like his VP basically, currently. And he's like, well, I was VP. I want to be the governor now. I want to be in charge of the state. I want to be the state guy. I want to take up Ron's seat. I was second in command. I want to be first in command. Great for you. What do you got to offer? Well, not a lot. Important thing about this piece of shit, honestly, this is kind of the only... This basically sums him up. He tried to basically ban pride flags from getting flown, and in doing so, he introduced a bill that would do that. But what he what he exempted from the rule was like Confederate flags. So he's like, okay, I'm trying to ban pride flags, but like Confederate flags are still allowed. And people were like, bro, what the fuck? What the fuck are you like? Do you support like the Confederate flags? And he was like, oh no, no, and he revoked the bill. It was like literally revoked within like a day or some shit. So he tried to ban stuff. So as we saw, Forbes is a very central leaning news source. So I put up my news source. Yeah, Florida GOP proposal would ban pride flags, but let Confederate flags fly at state buildings. A Republican lawmaker, teehee, I wonder who, filed legislation Tuesday. Oh, this was back in 2023. Filing legislation Tuesday, exempting the Confederate flag from a broad proposal to ban most flags from being flown outside government buildings in the state, including pride flags. Oh, gosh. Oh, State Senator Jay Collins. There he is, Jay Collins. I hate him. Oh, my God. He's such... Oh, they framed the bill as a helpful clarification. Oh, really? Yeah, following some incidents revolving pride flags. Interesting. Where is... Yeah, yeah, so that was that. So basically... Oh, but I can still read articles? I'm not getting charged to read news articles? Thank you, Forbes. Because New York Times and CNN are gonna fucking gut me to fucking... I just want to read your article. Let me show an example. What's an example? Maybe midterm? Maybe an article on midterms. Elections. New York Times. Why not? They gonna let me read it? Oh, I can't read it. Oh my gosh. My news is behind a paywall? Crazy. All right, well, that's not the only place. Let's go to CNN.